everyone. So I have a haul today that I'm going to share, and I do have 14 books that are in a pile off to the side, but I have a ton of merch that I'm going to share today. I'm going to go through all the merch first and then get into the books. But as usual, I will have timestamps below if you want to jump ahead to the books or if you want to just kind of skip around to whatever series you might be interested in. But a few weeks ago, I got a big order from my Korea proxy, and it has taken me weeks to just kind of sift through everything. I also had a merch pre-order that I got in the mail, as well as a few gifts from friends. So gonna get right into it, and then I'll get to the books once I get through all this merch. So first, from the series, The Dangerous Convenience Store, I have a few paper goods that I was really excited to pick up. So they did a cafe collab in China, and I was really worried I wasn't going to be able to get a hold of this merch because I didn't want to have to search for it on Taobao and make a super buy order, but I was able to find it from someone secondhand, so really happy I was able to get these. So these two, they're like square paper prints, but they might have been like coasters or something. They're kind of thick. They're like a thick cardstock. But they're so cute. They're chibi designs for this event. And then this was the one that I wanted the most, like if I wasn't going to be able to get all of them. I love this kind of idol bodyguard situation. And this is all new art too that was done for this event. But there was all kinds of merch, like with these different designs. There were these like paper prints, but then there were also like acrylics and badges. And I just wanted the prints because I wanted to put them in my album. And now I have them. So super happy I was able to secure these from the Dangerous Convenience Store. Next, from the series Pearl Boy, I got the 4-cut print from the recent cafe event, and they had different ones for 3 different sets for the different pairings. So I wanted this one of the main characters from Pearl Boy. Whenever they do these 4-cut prints with like the film strip or photo booth strip and then a photo card, I don't really collect the photo cards. And I'm satisfied just having the print because it has all 4 designs. So I was really glad I was able to get a hold of this one. The other 2 designs were of the main characters. They were side characters. Well, one of them was a side character in Pearl Boy. And then him and his partner in the spin-off series, Ignite the Dawn, I think is what it's called. And then there was a 3rd set that followed the 2 of the antagonists from Pearl Boy, the 2 twins. So I wanted this one, and I still have it in plastic just because I don't want them to get dust on them until I put them in my merch binder, but very cute and like a school themed packaging and illustrations. But the other ones had different themes, so I liked this one the most. And then I also got from the Red Thread Quest the 4-cut print and film strip. So I just wanted to have this one. This one too has 4 different photo cards, but I just collect the prints because I just put them in my album, and then I have all the art. But I'd been watching for a secondhand copy of this, and now I have secured it. And then for Red Thread Quest, I also got a little keychain holder package, and I'm kind of upset. I think I'm going to have to reorder it with my next Korea order, and I'm so annoyed because for the photo, like the main reason I got it was for the photo cards, which had one of each of the main characters, and then 2 clear cards that had little like drawn silhouette things that could go over them. And mine had 2, of the same thing. And they're supposed to be different. So it's perfect for him. Like, it was designed to fit on him with the thread going on his finger and the ears and the tail. But then the same design doesn't work on him. Like, it's not going to his finger, and then the like whiskers and ears don't line up. Like, if I put it upside down, then it kind of, I don't know. I don't like it. But I'm frustrated because his transparent card was supposed to be a different design with like different shaped ears and wings. So really disappointed. I had bought this secondhand because by the time I had found out about it, it was already sold out from like Jamie's shop. And the listing said it was brand new, unopened. And so either it was unopened and it was from the original purchase, they had put 2 of the same cards on accident, or maybe it had been opened and they just wanted 2 of the other one. I don't know. I'm really frustrated though, because this is what I was most looking forward to, like with my entire proxy order. And now I only have it for one of the characters, the little, oh well. So these are my pickups for the Red Thread Quest. Next, I have some goods from Define the Relationship. So a couple things that I wanted to pick up that I've been kind of watching like over the past like 6 months, watching listings until I was going to have my next Korea proxy order, but then also a couple events that I had missed. So these were from one event, and then these were from one of the Lezhin Season's greetings. But so from this event, I really, really wanted to get this little chibi acrylic block because they're so cute. So I think this was a like pop-up event, and it had characters from a bunch of different series in like business attire, like characters that usually aren't in business attire were put in business attire for prints and chibis and stuff. But for Define the Relationship, they are usually like in suits. So this isn't like a strange AU for them to be looking like businessmen. But I still just really wanted this chibi acrylic block because they're so cute. And then I thought this print of them from the event looked really nice. So I got these, and then with this standee came these 2 photo cards that are kind of like, they're kind of like access cards, which I think is really cute. So happy that I was able to secure this little release. Oh, I think I was showing it backwards, so that's why it was a little more textured, but super cute. And I've had all this in a pile for a couple weeks, and I've been really excited to like get it on my shelves. I think I'm going to put this one on display as well as this, and then I'll put the photo cards and the other items in my merch binder. But this has been the Define the Relationship merch item that I've been in search of the longest and most desperate to find, because I was watching for like over a year on US Mercari, and I did not see any listings, or I would see a listing and it would be like $150 for just this one item. So then I found it on Boonjang, and I wasn't ready to start an order yet with my proxy because shipping from Korea is kind of expensive. Like, it's more expensive than my orders from Japan. So I have to wait until I have like several things that I want to get so that I can get them all together and consolidate them and just pay international shipping once. But so I found that secondhand listing, and I opened a tab, and I just checked it every couple days and made sure that it hadn't been sold yet. So then when I did start my next order with my proxy, I asked them to please get this for me, and I secured it. So it was from the Season's Greetings that was like the bottoms as race car drivers, which was really fun. But I love the like celebration designs on the calendar pages. So I only have one other calendar page from, oh, here's what it was called. Racing to Another Pink, I think is what it was called. But the other one that I have from this calendar is the page for Smyrna and Capri, which also had a really beautiful champagne celebration illustration, which I love. I love it so much because that one is an AU because one of them is a race car driver, but that one also is a historical setting. So then it shows them in modern clothing, which I really love. But then this one is already a modern day series, but then it's still fun, like with this AU of them in this setting is fun. But really happy that I was able to secure this one. And then also from the Season's Greetings, I wanted to get the clear file and print that had both of them on it. I know that there were a couple items that just had him, which like he's on the back of this one. And then there's like separate prints of just him being the main focus on the print. But I wanted the one that had both Ash and Carlisle, and I could put it with my merch collection. And then it came with the clear file, but I'm a big fan of the A5 clear files. Like I never use A4 clear files because they're so big, but I actually use A5 clear files. And then this one has the same design as this, and then the same design on the back as well. But I love that it's like the perfect size for all the merch items that are not like huge. So I'm gonna put this in my binder, but for now, to keep everything from getting dusty, I've just been storing them in here. So really happy to have secured these things that I've been kind of keeping an eye out for and wanting to get. Okay, next I have a few things from different series because I was wanting to get them and had to trade for some of these, but I posted a YouTube short that showed from the Lezhin Tops trading cards what my pulls were. So the only ones from my pulls that I was like wanting to collect were these two. So these were the two regular cards for the tops from Legs That Won't Walk and Full Volume. And each pack came with 2 regular cards and 1 special card, and I had gotten 4 packs. So I was really disappointed that I didn't pull any of the special cards for series that I was wanting, but I at least got the 2 regular cards I was wanting. But then I traded for these ones, and I was able to secure the special card for Legs That Won't Walk, the special card for Full Volume, and I don't have very much merch for Full Volume. I have these and then the Season's Greetings, like not all the Season's Greetings stuff from like 2003, I think. So I was really happy when I saw that this series was part of that event. And then Scent and Sensibility. This is one that I just read this month, but I fell in love with it. I enjoyed it so much. So Scent and Sensibility, I am actually like hunting right now for a bunch of merch that I've missed that I'm like trying to secure before it gets even harder to get. But really happy now though that these were the 2 main series that I was trying to get both of the cards. So I secured those, and then I got this one, and then the one other one that I haven't been able to secure yet is the Ghost Nocturne. I want the special card. So I'm not like urgently trying to hunt it down, but I'm keeping an eye out on like Mercari and Instagram if people are looking to trade or are selling any duplicates that they have. But these are my trading cards, and I'm really hoping too that they'll do a bottoms version that will correspond so I can get their partners. And then there was also a Boomtoon tops version too. I don't know how to pronounce that, Boomtoon or Bombtoon, I don't know. But that one didn't have any characters I wanted to collect until I recently read Borderline. Only like a week or two ago, I binged season 1 of Borderline and really enjoyed it. So now I'm kind of thinking maybe I want to get the special card for that series. But as I've been keeping an eye out, I haven't been able to find it yet. So we'll see. Next, I have some merch from a series I really like. It's one of my top 10 BL series. And it is Boss Bitch Baby. And we recently got this series licensed for English print, and volume 1 just released a few weeks ago. I'm so excited for the release, and I have picked up some merch for this series in the past. They did an event for the AUs. After the main story ended, there were a bunch of AUs, and there was like, I think a cafe collab where they had made merch specifically for the AUs with photo cards and clear files, lenticular prints. So I was able to get, I think, 2 different packs so that I could secure the photo cards and then one of the like merch bundles with some more of the art. But a friend of mine had gotten an acrylic stand that is also from one of the AUs from the Guideverse AU. And it was gorgeous, and I've just been keeping an eye out ever since I saw her post about it. And finally found it, fortunately while my proxy order was open, but it's a 3-part standee, so it has the front and back and then the base of the main characters, and it is from the, I think it's the last, oh no, it's not the last, but maybe the 3rd or 4th AU side story with the Guideverse setting, and they both just look so handsome. And then I love the kind of post-apocalyptic kind of soldier type clothing from that AU that is part of their design. So happy to have some more representation of them. So I have some of those paper merch items, but they're all tucked in my binder. So I'm happy to have this one that I'll be able to put on display on my shelves. And then it came with, I don't know if these were with it or if the seller just gave them to me as well. But they included these 2 stickers of them with this backdrop. So we'll be adding that to my little Boss Bitch Baby merch collection. And then next, I have quite a few items from the series Wet Sand that I just went ahead and picked all of it up while I was shopping and had my proxy order open. So first, I got the full set of 4 artboards of the 3 main characters and then a group illustration. So the main ones that I wanted from the artboard release was the one of TJ and then this group one. But I couldn't find them as singles being sold individually. So I just went ahead and picked up a set of all 4 that was listed. I was late to a few of the listings for the like official release, so I had to pick some of these up secondhand. But these came in perfect condition. They were in their original packaging, but just had been opened. But I love this one. And TJ just looks gorgeous. I kind of wish that these were just prints because then I would be able to store them a little easier because I'm not planning on displaying these ones. I just don't have enough space on my shelves, but I'm going to put these in my binder. And then Ian, I love that he's lifting his shirt so we can see his tattoo. And then the foil of the author's signature. And then lastly, Joe's. So I picked up this whole artboard set. And then I was able to order a few things directly from the, I forget what it's called, ZoSan shop. But I got a couple little packs, little PC packs. So I got 2 TJ ones and then 1 Ian. I think there is gonna be 1 more of the Ian ones. And then Joe had versions in both of these as well. I forget what they were called. One of them is like a birthday pack, and then the other one was like maybe a vacation pack or something. I'm not sure. But But with this pack, it came with this photo card and matching Polaroid print and the little backer board, which I love it on its own as a print, having the same illustration, but then just being like in a, like more like line art. Like I would say black and white, but it's not black. But love that that is something that I actually want to keep, even though it's like the backer board. But Polaroid print, PC, and then it came with this little sticker sheet of the guys. And oh, I had to check because I wasn't sure if the names were stickers too, but it's just these 3 are the stickers. I mean, I guess I could cut them out, but in suits. So I think this is from the vacation one. And then I think Joe has a version too, and Ian doesn't have a version yet, maybe. And then I think this is from the birthday set. So this one is TJ's, the photo card, the sticker sheet, and then the matching Polaroid. And it's not actually a Polaroid, it's like a print made to look like one. And so as soon as I pulled it out of the plastic, I pulled it out and it just like started bending. So I'm gonna need to get this in my binder so that it stays flat. And then the matching, again, backer board that I love, just having the same illustration, but again, kind of the line art style. So secured this one. And then Ian's version with his photo card. Oh, this version was called Glasses, I think. And then Joe had glasses too. And then this one might be the birthday one. I'm not sure. So his photo card, the same sticker sheet as that one. Matching Polaroid. And then the backer board. I think the backer board is my favorite. My favorite of the versions, like photo card, Polaroid, and backer board. And if I had to choose one, I would probably want to keep this one for display, but I have all of them, so. Okay, next I got Ian's passport and ID picture set. So in one of my last Korea proxy orders, I had already gotten TJ's, but I didn't realize that they came with different, like TJ's came with one of these too, where it had like line art of TJ. And I didn't realize that they were all different. And then even the color of wet sand, as well as the cityscape in the background, or I guess this one's not a cityscape. I thought TJ's was a cityscape, but that they're specific for them. Joe has one as well with a different illustration here, and then I think his is like green or teal or something. But I love these little sleeves that they come in with his signature and name. I have this one for TJ as well. And then the ID photos, so one smaller set and then a bigger set. So just collecting all this stuff and gonna add this to my binder as well. And then I got a few photo cards, prints. So they have 3 different print packs, and I had already gotten 2 of them in previous orders, so I decided to go ahead and pick this one up so that I would just have all of them. But I reordered it with my favorite ones in the front because TJ and Ian, look at him, his smile. So these are all panels from the manhwa. So I kind of don't need to have all of these prints because they're all in the manhwa, but some of the ones of TJ I just can't resist, like having a separate art print of it. So secured this as well, and I love the branded envelope and the sticker. And then lastly, for Wet Sand, I got the Season's Greetings bundle. And when this released, I had kind of heard about it, but I am not really a calendar user. I use the calendar on my phone. And I just know that a lot of Season's Greetings sets are really hard to get a hold of. Like there is a lot of competition to get them. So I hadn't even been inclined to pick this up, but when I saw some of the merch items that came with it, I just started looking for it and was able to find a full set. I probably would have just gotten the extras that came with the calendar if I could find a listing separate for it. But I couldn't, or it would have been more expensive to like get each thing separately. And I really wanted these prints and these little chibi acrylics. But before I show all of these, I'll just show what else was with the Season's Greetings set. So first, the actual calendar itself, which is really cute. And I'm kind of bummed I didn't get this sooner because I would have just had it on my shelf and had it on display. But it has, well, this one is one page to flip. But then after this first page, it's split between like the monthly pages, and then the back is just like a place for notes. And then all of the illustrations on these cards correspond to the image on this side. So this is like zoomed in on his jacket. Side, and then like this is zoomed in on his collar. So they're all kind of like this, but I'll go through and show just the fronts of them, and then I'll show the backs of them next. But I didn't realize when I got this that it had so much extra art. He's so handsome. And then these ones are actually the prints that I had to have. But I'm glad I got the prints too because they are larger. Like they're, I think A5, whereas these ones are square, so they're cropped a bit. I love this one. I think this one has a print that's available like with something else, and I haven't picked it up yet. So now I might just have this one and that'll be enough for me. I love how his eyes look with his green hat. And this is the one from the artboard. And again, it's a square, so it kind of is cropped. The artboard illustration. And then this was another release. Like there was another merch item that had these as prints, but I haven't gotten it. So this one had two new TJ illustrations that I didn't have already. And then this one. And again, it's cropped off, so I'm happy that I was able to secure the artboards. And then I'll try to do this side a little faster. So the other side had like new color illustrations, and then these are all like panels from the manhwa. I think, I don't know if this is something else, like if this was a bonus art. Maybe it's part of his flashback or something, I'm not sure. Cute! Babies! Okay, so that's all of them. But I thought it was funny that I got this in January and the very last option, or the latest option, is January 2026. And that's the last one. So I got it just in time to use it for about a month, and then I'll be able to just enjoy the art in it. And then the set also came with a planner. And it has little bits of art in the back. But I kind of like that this one doesn't have like dates in it. It just has it blank where you can fill in whatever month or days or whatever. So it's not like expired now that it's 2026. So glad that that will be convenient for me. And then the main reason that I got all of these is because of these little office setting acrylics and postcards. So I'll just do them one at a time. So TJ's, and then he has a little matching chibi acrylic. So cute. So I mainly wanted these, and that's why I bought all of this. And then he has a photo card with a little personalized folder. Cute. And then Ian, his little matching chibi. His little hands behind his head. He's so cute. And then his photo card. And personalized little sleeve. And then Joe and his chibi. I love how he's like leaning back, just like in this one. And then his matching photo card and little sleeve for it. And then this, I think, was a like backer board for something, but it has the little office here as if like they could be on it. Just another day at the office. Cute. And then this is the box it came in. So that's all my wet sand stuff. And it's been sitting in a pile, and I'm so excited to finally be able to put it all away soon. I'm actually waiting on some page refills for my binder though, because I don't have the right sizes, but I'm happy to be able to get all this sorted and organized now. The next thing is also a bunch of BL merch, and it was actually a gift from my friend Ashley. Thank you so much. She was super generous sending all of this. She had messaged me and just asked if I was searching for any of these photo cards that she had duplicates of, but then she just sent me a bunch of extra stuff too. I saved all the washi tape that she had put on the plastic to just have it for myself because I didn't get the Ghost Nocturne washi tape, so I love looking at it, and it's all like glittery too. And then this Bungo Stray Dogs little memo page. But For all the series represented here, some of them I'm a big fan of, and some of them I haven't read yet, and they're on my TBR, so I'm really excited about them. And then a couple non-BL photo cards or prints as well. So I'll try to remember as I'm going through, and if I can't remember, I'll put it on the screen. But the first two are from the Red Thread Quest. I love this one. And then he's so cute. I think there's a matching one of the other main character. So I might have to go hunt that one down now that I have this one. Like with photo cards, I'm always just like, oh, I don't need it. But then if I have one, then I want to get the matching one or like have a little set of them. So she's being a photo card enabler by sending me these. And then these three are from the series Honey Bear. And I'm really far behind on this one. I had read season 1 and then I fell behind on season 2. So I just thought I'll just wait till it's closer to ending and then I'll have more to binge. But I think it already has completed 3 seasons. It might be into, let me check. Okay, so it's into season 3 right now. So I have a bit to catch up on, but it follows a bakery owner and then a guy who likes the bakery owner. And it's very smutty and I like the art. I don't know who these two are though, so I don't know if they're like a side couple that I haven't met yet or I met them and didn't realize they were going to have their own relationship featured too, but I think these are my first photo cards for Honey Bear, so. And then the next, I think 6 or 7 are from Gale of the God. And this is one of the ones I haven't read yet, but I already have some merch. I already have some merch from this series, and now I have 7 more photo cards, so I had better read it soon. I think I also saw in here, I didn't realize who they were at first, but I think they're from Gale of the God too. I didn't collect a lot from this year's Season's Greetings, so I didn't really pay attention to how they looked, but when I first saw this, I thought it was Steel Under Silk, and then I thought it was Painter of the Night, and then I was like, no, what is it? And then I couldn't figure it out because I hadn't read this one yet, but I think it's Gale of the Gods, which is fun too because it's a modern AU for these characters that are in a historical setting. So now it makes me even more excited to read it because I'll have this fun AU that I have art of already too. And then this one, the Season's Greetings card of the top from Our Sunny Days. I don't think I have any merch for this series yet, but I have been reading the digital release. It did just get a print release license. I can't remember if the first volume has already released or if it's upcoming, but I enjoy it. It's very, very feel good with a little bit of angst, but it's just pretty feel good overall. And then the next 3, I haven't read these series yet either. The next 5. And I think, I can't remember what all of these series were, but I know this one is called Toxin. And it's on my list. I am planning to get to it because I know my friends like it. But now I have merch. When I have merch, I'm like, okay, I'm obligated to bump it up higher on my TBR. So Toxin, I'll read soon. I think this one is historical set, and he is like half human, half something else, and that's why he has horns. Okay, I just looked at my list, and I can't remember which is which, but I think one of these is called Surge to You. Surge Toward You. I think it's this one, and I think it's an Omegaverse, like a sports Omegaverse. And then I think this one is Pond Where Flowers Fall, but I'm not sure because I haven't read either of them yet, but a couple friends like these series, so I'll give them a try. I have them on my list. And like, I actually have them on my list. Like, I have a list with the titles. Usually when I say like, oh, I've been wanting to read that, or oh, it's on my TBR, it's just like a mental note, or I've like opened a tab to remind me to check it out. But these ones I've written down and I'm planning on reading. And then this next one is a photo card and then also a net print. And I'm so excited to read this one. It's called The Heart of the Lotus, and it's historical set. But I just really like the way that this character looks, his character design. And so I already actually have merch from this series. I think I have a couple photo cards. So this is one I was planning to wait until season 2 ended so I could binge and not be waiting for weekly updates. But I think I might read it sooner than that if season 2 isn't going to end soon. And I'm just really looking forward to it. And I've been told that it's going to hurt me, so I'll be mentally prepared for that. But I really like this net print. And then the next net prints, so Scent and Sensibility. I just read this a couple weeks ago and I loved it. So I'm really happy to have this net print. I have a few other merch items on the way from this series. And then this is one that I was following, and then I think when season 3 started, I took a little break and decided to wait until maybe season 3 ended, and then I would continue it. I forget what it's called though, so I'll put the title on the screen. This one is Alpha Trauma, and I haven't read it yet. I've read Omega Complex, which I guess is like the main story, and this is a spin-off of it. So an Omegaverse, but it's been a while since I read Omega Complex. I kind of don't even remember much about it, so I might need to reread that and then read Alpha Trauma. But I have a couple merch items now, so I need to get to it. And then my shoujo prints. So some postcard prints from the series In the Clear Moonlit Dusk. I really like Miki Yamamori's series, and I've been enjoying this one. And I do have a bit of merch for the series already, but I didn't have any of these prints, so happy to have them. And then a couple more 4-cut prints, and I'm super grateful that she sent these because I didn't have these ones. And I also don't collect the photo cards from these. So whenever people have like collected multiples so they could get the photo cards, I love that I can just like get their duplicate prints and add them to my collection. So this one is from Lotus and Twilight. This one did just get an English print release. I think volume 1 just released like this week or last week. And it has a film strip too, I think. And then this one is Minmotion Syndrome, which is an Omegaverse that follows, oh, this one's an Omegaverse too, but this one is an Omegaverse that kind of has a different dynamic where the Omega is the one that is rich and the Alpha is kind of submissive to him. He is a bit of a power bottom, but he still has the Alpha energy. There just is a power dynamic because of him working under the Omega and the gap in their income. But these are both ones that I've read as well, and happy to have some merch. I don't think I had any merch of Lotus and Twilight yet, but I did have some net prints from Minmotion Syndrome, so yay, happy to have these. Thank you so much, Ashley. I can't believe how generous you were sending me all of these, and I'm so grateful. And then I've got another stack of net prints, and these are ones that I actually had requested and asked my Japanese proxy if they could print them for me. And some of these are older too, and I was able to get a hold of them from her like backup stock of ones that she was trying to get rid of. So 2 of those were from the series Engage, which is a spin-off story of my favorite BL, Love Nest. So this follows the side characters. Well, one of the side characters from Love Nest, and then a new character that is introduced in Engage. But happy to have these ones. I wish I could go back and get some of the older ones, but I'm just glad I was able to get these because they had already expired like long ago. This one's from 2024 and I got it in the end of 2025. And then Kaiju number 8. So these two are from one artist, and then the rest of them are from a different artist. But Hoshina is my favorite in Kaiju number 8. So I'm glad I was able to get these. And this is my ship. This is my Kaiju ship. And then next is Heaven Official's Blessing. I actually haven't started the danmei yet, so I've read the first volume of the manhwa and I've watched the first couple episodes of the donghua. But I'm planning to read the danmei soon. I'm planning to start volume 1 in the next week or two. And when I saw that these were each only $1, I was like, I'll go ahead and pick them up just in case when I read it. I love it. And then if like it's not a top favorite by the time I've read it, then I can gift them to my friends who like this series. So picked them up. I thought that these ones were especially cute of him like being tiny or it being like he's a little plushy. And then Yuri on Ice. These are all by the same artist. And they did like kind of a set that they put available for printing. So I just got one of each because I thought they were really cute. And then from Demon Slayer. So I'm sorry, my favorite character in Demon Slayer is Muzan. But this is my ship, my Demon Slayer ship. So I was happy to get these. There was an artist that had a bunch of prints that they put available for net prints, and I got all the ones that... Actually, no, there were quite a few, so I just chose my favorite ones. So I got these 3. Next is from the series Can You Kiss Me First? This one has an upcoming English print release. I'm so excited for it. I do really like this series. And I'm glad that I was paying attention and didn't miss out on this net print that the mangaka put online. And then there's an artist that I really like that I actually have all of her art books in doujinshi. She did these 2 art prints for Toji. And I had to have them so I could add them to my collection of theirs for Toji artwork. This one was cute with the chibi Toji and then all the little wads of money for him. And then lastly, some One Piece ones. So 3 of them were from the same artist, and then this one was from a different artist. And just wanted to get this because it's like the different Sanjis. He's so cute. I love Sanji in Disguise from Dressrosa. And then these ones were by an artist that I follow on Blue Sky and Twitter, so I was really excited that they had some of their art available to print, so happy to have these. And really glad I was able to get all of these just like one by one as they were available. I was like, oh, I'll take one of each. Oh, I'll take these 3. And then before I knew it, I had this big ol' stack. Next, I have a couple Sanji things. So I made a pre-order in December for a few Sanji items, and this is an artist that I follow on Instagram, and I've ordered from them already a couple times. So I have a few of their things, but then they had a few new things, so I wanted to pick them up. So I really wanted the Sanji memo pad. He's so cute. I can't wait to use these. And these ones are sticky ones too. I have a few Sanji memo pads that are just tear off, but these ones are sticky ones. And then their business card. And the sticker. I actually, in their art style, have their Sanji tote bag, their Sanji zipper pouch. I have their art book, as well as several prints and keychains, and I just can't help myself. Sanji is so cute in their style. And then with their pre-order, they included this postcard print with every order. And then the main thing I wanted with this order, besides the memo pad, was this wooden charm. So this was a limited release. I can't remember. I think there were only 20 of them available for different characters. So I think there was a Zoro one, a Luffy one, and a Nami one maybe, and then a Sanji one. And they were for different like charms. So Sanji's was health. And he's so cute. He has a little blush. But I'm so excited. I'm going to use this one on my purse. And Sanji's just going to be there watching out for me. And then I got this one too. I think this was available when I made my last order, but I had ordered quite a bit and I was like, I'll cut myself off there. But this time, since I was only ordering a couple of things, I was like, I'll just throw in this one too. He's cute. I love that it's double-sided and that each side is a different art. But he's too cute. I can't resist. But I did a little YouTube short showing all my merch, but then also the wooden charm. When I got it, I didn't realize it had a film on it. So I was like, is something wrong with the one I got? Because like you couldn't even see Sanji's outline hardly. So I was really relieved. I DM'd the artist and like I didn't want to be rude, but I was just like, is this how it's supposed to look? And then they told me it has a film, peel it off. And then as soon as I peeled it, he was all sharp and stunning. So my latest Sanjis, actually I say my latest Sanjis, but I have one more set of Sanjis that I got since this one came in. And I believe this is the last of my merch, and then I'll get into the books because I have some books that came with these acrylic stands because my friend did me a huge favor. She was a proxy for me to get these books that I was not able to order online. And then along with my package, she sent these 2 blind bags that had Sanji blinds. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, 2 one-piece ones. I hope I can pull a Sanji, but my luck is never good with blind pulls. So I was just already preparing myself like I would get something I didn't want and wouldn't get a Sanji even though I have 2 opportunities. Then when I actually looked at it, I realized it is a Sanji blind. So no matter what I pulled would be a winning pull. So I was super thrilled that I could experience doing like a blind pull and I would get Sanji no matter what. But huge thank you to Adri who got me these books that I'm going to get into next. But then also these Sanji blinds from the Shonen Jump store pop-up shop she was able to go to and thought of me. Thank you so much. But the 2 that I got, and I actually posted a YouTube short opening them, but I got this one. This is one of my favorite Sanji panels in the series. It's in the Whole Cake Island arc, but he's in a part of the story where he's under a lot of duress. He's really anxious about the uncertainty of his situation, and even still, he's holding firm to his values, and I just really love this panel, and this is an iconic quote of his. And then this one is from the Wano arc when he is kind of teaming up with Zoro to take on the antagonist after he protects the little girl. I forget what her name is, but another iconic Sanji panel, which makes sense because like these are all iconic Sanji panels as well as these ones. So I'm just happy that this was the one I wanted the most. So I'm happy that I was able to get the one that I wanted the most. And none of them would have been bad picks. So, so happy about these. And then into my first set of books. So I got volumes 1, 2, and 3 of From Zero to Office Romance. I'm so happy that we have this series in English print now. Yay! So I read this one a couple years ago online, and since reading it and enjoying it, I've been requesting it pretty regularly on the monthly surveys for licensing requests. And I didn't realize that Manga Plaza had licensed it for a print release as well as the digital release. And it wasn't until December that I found out that these had gotten a print release and were already in print from November. And I just hadn't known about it. And they did a simultaneous print release of all 3 volumes at once and released them. But then I immediately panicked as soon as I found out, because I found out by means of a Kinokuniya email that said, pick up these new releases. But for this series, volumes 2 and 3 aren't available online, only in store. So I panicked because I don't live near Kinokuniya, and I was planning to buy volume 1 and then maybe try to see if someone could pick up 2 and 3 for me, but I got really anxious and stressed about it because I just really wanted to secure it. I felt kind of silly because I actually had requested this series in my December survey for 7C's licensing requests, and it had already been printed and released in English. So I felt a little silly about that, but I made a little please help me post in my Instagram stories, and I was so grateful. There were a handful of people who reached out to me to proxy for me, and I was able to secure a set of the books. Huge thank you to Adri, who did that for me and then sent them to me. And I actually just got these yesterday, so I haven't read for my physicals yet. And I'm actually going to be going on a trip starting tomorrow, so I don't think I'll have time to read them until I get back, but I'm just honestly relieved that I have secured these. They're in my hands, so I'll be okay waiting until I get back to read them. And I'm super, super jealous of all the people who live near Kinokuniya's, but really glad that I was able to secure these ones. So this is my first series in my collection from Manga Plaza, from their print releases. I know that when they released these ones, they released a trilogy of a BL series and then another trilogy of, I think, another Josei series. So, oh, I didn't even say anything about this series though. So this is a workplace romance series that follows a wedding planner and then I believe a superior who is like not from her area, but is traveling to evaluate the different like regional offices. But as you can see from the covers, a romance blossoms between them. And there is quite a bit of drama in this one, but it is drama that I enjoyed. So really excited to read this again. This one, I don't think it's rated mature. It doesn't say on them, but it has some implied spice like later on, but I don't think it like is smutty at all and doesn't like show anything. So looking forward to reading this one. And again, thank you so much, Adri, for helping me pick these up. Okay, and then my big pile of books. So I feel like this video is already so long, so I hope that you took advantage of the thumbnails. But I'm going to get into my books now. And a lot of these are continuing volumes of series that I already have in my collection, so I won't talk at length about any of them. But still really glad to have gotten all of these in recently. So I have volume 2 of Villains Are Destined to Die. So I haven't read the manhwa for this series, but I've read volume 1 of the novel and I enjoyed it. I think this is only going to be like 5 or 6 volumes. So I'm looking forward to continuing. But I enjoyed volume 1 and excited to learn more about the characters. Some of my friends have read the manhwa, and after I read volume 1, they were like, who's your favorite? And I can't even remember anyone's names right now, but I was like, oh, this guy's my favorite. And they're like, oh, this guy's my favorite. And I was just like, I haven't even learned anything about that guy yet. So excited to get a little deeper into this story. It's about a girl who is from modern times. I think she's in university and stays up all night playing a game that's really easy. It's like a dating sim and it's super easy. She beats it really quickly and then she enters the hard mode. And then the hard mode is impossible and she just can't beat it. And then she falls asleep when she stays up all night and into the morning. She falls asleep and then wakes up in the game. And rather than being the protagonist, she wakes up as the villain of the story. And her goal now is to just try to get some affection from the male leads, not so that they'll fall in love with her, but just so that they won't kill her. So it's been a pretty fun read so far and looking forward to reading this one. Next is Marriage of Convenience. So this is one that I read a couple months ago, volume 1, and really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny. And upon finishing volume 1, I was so curious about the story that I then did a binge of the rest of the series digitally. It was already complete with the digital release. But this story is really fun. I really like the male lead in it, especially as it goes. And the more I got to know of him, I really liked him. But then I like that the female lead is a really strong character too. She's not a damsel in distress. So this is a regression story where the female lead at the beginning of volume 1 is currently living in poverty after things have gone wrong in her life. And then she dies and then wakes up in the past. I don't remember how many years in the past, maybe 10 years in the past. But now she is 18 again and is determined to kind of make decisions differently so that she can have a more secure future, won't be thrown out of the estate and thrown into poverty again like she was in her first life. So really like this one, really like the main characters, really love almost all of the side characters too. So I'll put the blurb up if anyone wants to take a look at it. Next is See You in My 19th Life, Volume 8. And this is another one that I, a couple months ago, read the first 7 volumes that had been released in print already. And then immediately upon finishing them, I was like, I have to read more. So then I picked it up with the digital release on Webtoon and finished the story and loved it. So now I'm just collecting the rest of this story and adding it to my collection. My husband also, after I enjoyed it so much, he also read volumes 1 to 7. And then he also couldn't wait for the next volumes to release and then went and read the rest of it on Webtoon as well. So we both enjoyed this series and I think it's complete at 14 volumes. So over halfway through the print release now. The story follows not these two. These are 2 of the side characters. But this series follows these 2. So a woman who is currently in her 19th life, every time that she reincarnates, she remembers her previous life. So the story actually starts with her in her 18th life, and she meets someone who becomes really important to her. And because her 18th life is cut short, then in her 19th life, she wants to find him again. But really enjoyed this one and happy to be adding it to my collection. The next one is Volume 3 of Loverboy. So Volume 4, I think, actually just released. So I have Volume 4 on the way, but I just got Volume 3. I think this one is going to be 5 volumes. It is already complete in the digital release, and I have already read it. And I've also read the spin-off story, Sparkling Baby. And I like this one. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to read Volume 3 or if I'll probably wait until I get Volume 4 and then read 3 and 4, and then I'll just have Volume 5 to go. But this one is an age gap romance that follows a young man when he re-encounters his first love. The 2 were actually childhood neighbors who were then separated for over a decade, and then they re-encounter when he is in university and he is already a working adult. But he does everything he can to get closer to him and gain his trust because the older of the characters is opposed to a romantic relationship. He's just been having friends with benefits and proposes that offer to him as well, initially to scare him off, but is not wanting to be in a committed relationship. So this one has a lot of angst in it, though. I think volume 3 and probably into volume 4 are going to be the hardest for me to get through. But it's kind of funny looking at the spine. It's like, okay, this whole section of it is going to be the flashback section. So looking forward to getting to that after I get my volume 4 in. And then volume 3 of Murderous Llewellyn's Candlelit Dinner. This is another one that I have already read the digital release of the series, and I really like it, so I'm collecting the physicals as they release. This one is a historical set BL from, I don't remember like what decade it would be, like the early 1900s, like maybe the 40s or 50s. I'm not really sure. But the series starts out in volume 1 with the main character just having a really hard time keeping work. He's living in a part of town that has a lot of crime and in an apartment that is not very secure. He has someone who has been stalking him and can't manage to stay in a stable relationship with anyone. And then his neighbor, who is an odd guy, starts showing him a lot of attention, and he thinks that his neighbor might be the wanted serial killer that has been in the area lately. But the story is so good. There are so many twists and turns that when I was reading the first time was not expecting at all. And it really hit me emotionally when certain reveals happened. So I'm looking forward to rereading this one once I get a few more volumes. I think I read volumes 1 and 2 like right away when I got them, but I think from here on I'm going to just wait until the series completes so I can do a binge of it. But I think volume 4 is already releasing soon, and then I believe this is going to be 6 volumes total. So Murderous Llewellyn's Candlelit Dinner. Next is a danmei series, Mistakenly Saving the Villain Volume 1. And this was a special edition, and I did a YouTube short showing all of the extras that came with the Volume 1 release. So some art prints, a bookmark, sticker sheet, and a poster. I haven't read this yet, so I'm looking forward to it. A handful of my friends have really enjoyed this series, so I'm hoping I will enjoy it as well. But I don't really know much about it other than that it's historical and that the main character is like supposed to save the protagonist and accidentally saves the villain or something. I assume it's a transmigration. Yeah, wakes up in a historical fantasy novel. So I've been really enjoying the transmigration danmei series I've been reading lately. I thought it was going to be harder to get into historical danmei because when I started reading danmei, I read like all of the modern danmei I could. But then when I started reading historical danmei, I kept choosing ones that were transmigration, and I've been having a lot of fun with them. So I'll be looking forward to reading this one, probably in February, but I'll hold it here if you want to read the blurb. But ooh, it's already appealing to me, a villainous yandere. So this might be right up my alley, but we'll see. So looking forward to reading this one, hopefully soon. And then I think I already have the next 2 volumes pre-ordered. So if I love this volume, I'll be really excited to continue. If I don't love it, I might cancel my pre-orders and just read the ebooks. So we'll see. Another danmei that I just got in is The Defectives, Volume 2. So I love the glittery, sparkly finish on the cover and spine. It's so pretty. I actually was a little disappointed when I saw the cover reveals for the volumes past Volume 1 because I love the color palette for Volume 1 so much with purple and blue. And I thought that all the volumes were going to have that same color palette. So when I saw the next one was yellow, I was just like, no. But then I came to terms with it because it was still a really pretty cover. So I haven't started this series yet. I was hoping to read more of Priest's series in 2025, but I kind of got distracted with other series and ran out of time. So now that I have the 2nd volume, I'm going to try to read the 1st and 2nd volumes of The Defectives. So I don't know much about this series. All I know is that it is I was gonna say modern, but maybe even futuristic. It has sci-fi elements, and I think is set like in outer space or something. So I do really like pre-storytelling, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. I did get the merch bundle when I pre-ordered this volume. So let's see. So I think these were items that came with every pre-order. This postcard print, this bookmark, this chibi cutout, and this badge. So I think this came with every order, and then the merch bundle also came with this mini poster. And it's funny that it's a mini poster because it's like 5x7. Mini poster, and then this, it's the same as the chibi cutout, but as an acrylic charm. And then this is like a thin acrylic, like a clear card kind of. And then an acrylic coaster. Like, I don't know if it's called something else, but it's like a coaster. So I'm excited to read this and meet these characters, and I hope I like it. But I'm looking forward to it. I go into Priest's series pretty optimistic just because I like her writing style and storytelling, so we'll be looking forward to reading this one. And then the last two books, Volume 2 of Haberdashery Ginmokusei. And I actually just got Volume 1 a couple weeks ago. I hadn't pre-ordered it, so when I was getting Volume 2, I pre-ordered this like right before it released, and then also ordered Volume 1. So looking forward to reading this one. I really like this mangaka, Mamita. I have, I think, 3 of her other series. I can't remember if there's another one, but her other titles have been releasing on like all kinds of publishers. So this one is Kuma. 2 of them are 7 Seas. 1 of them is Sublime. I'll have to check if there is another one that is slipping my mind, but I'm actually planning on reading this tonight. I didn't read Volume 1 because I wanted to wait and binge them. It's a 2-volume series, but it follows 2 guys that are working in a men's clothing store. The main character, who is on the cover of the first volume, has inherited his grandfather's haberdashery, where he would sell like upscale suits and just like men's clothing and accessories. And he is having trouble running this business and making a profit. And so he meets this guy who has more business savvy and is going to try to help him to keep the business afloat, because it is an important thing to him that he wants to survive from his memories with his grandfather. But I'm looking forward to reading it. I love this mangaka's art style, and their stories are all really fun. And then this one in particular, through the whole story, they're going to be just like wearing suits and looking dapper. So looking forward to reading this one. Oh, and I forgot I have 2 more books to the side. So I have this one and then 2 more. So next is Volume 2 of Roses and Champagne. And I'm so happy about this one that we have it in English. I have read this series already from the digital release. And I think this one is going to be 7 or 8 volumes as long as we get the side stories. So the main story is 4 volumes, and then the side stories are, I think, 3 or 4 volumes. But I just got this one in this morning, and I actually read it as soon as I got it. So this is a mafia romance story. The main character is a lawyer who travels from Korea to Russia for personal reasons, but then while he's in Russia, he has a run-in with this gangster who immediately takes an interest in him, and they end up a bit entangled as a case he's working on has to do with him, and he offers to help a bit, but then he has ulterior motives partially for himself and his group, but then also partially his interest in this guy. So he's one of the blackest flags. Him along with Zhenya from Codename Anastasia, and then the Passion male lead, whose name I'm forgetting right now. But those are like the black flag trio, so they do a lot of wrong in their series, but I still really like all three of those series. But then Roses and Champagne, I'm super happy we have it in English print now. And I can't help but overlook Caesar's wrongs because he has so many lovable things about him and his, of course, tragic backstory of his upbringing. So just looking forward to more of this to release, and I'm going to be reading it as each volume releases. Big fan of this series. And now I have 2 books left, and they were both books that I picked up for my husband as gifts for his Bungo Stray Dogs collection. So if you've watched my haul videos over the past 2 years, I've been collecting books from the real people who inspired the characters in Bungo Stray Dogs. They were all authors and novelists and philosophers and poets. And so I've just been collecting the works of my favorite characters and just gradually trying to read through some of them. And I think one of my most recent pickups was a Lovecraft collection for my husband. He is interested in reading some of Lovecraft's works. I'm not, because they're like sci-fi horror, but I'm happy that he is wanting to get into it. But another one of his favorite characters is Yosano, and I wanted to get these 2 poetry collections for him. I feel like poetry is kind of hard to collect because depending on the collection you get, there will almost always be like overlapping content. So even though some of the works in this are in here and some of the works in this are in here, I wanted to get both of them because I believe it's this one has just a variety of some of her poems, but then also has some of the like short poems. I think they're called tankas. And then this one doesn't have any of the longer poems, but is a complete collection of all of the tanka poems that she released. So yeah. From the 399 tanka in this Tangled Hair. And I love the way that they did this one, where they have the tanka poems in Japanese and then like transliterated and then translated to English. And then there's an index, information about the translators, and then I think there's a bit of a foreword. And that's been like one of the most exciting things with the works that I've been reading is the introductions and forewords, and then like the notes in the end where there's just a bit more insight about the actual person and what they were like, what their work is like, what inspired them, just different things like this. So I think this will be a nice thing for him to have in his collection. He'll have fun reading about this iconic Japanese feminist. And yeah, same with this one. And I would like to read it too. Like, I'm really bad with, I'm not a poetry appreciator, but I will read the intros and I don't know, I'll try to read some of it, I guess. Because I like her character in Bungo Stray Dogs too. But so in this one, yeah, I think like this much of it is the tanka poems, and then it's longer ones after that. Index. About the publisher, I think. So happy to pick up things like this for him because he just lets me get whatever I want. For like the Fukazawa collections and like Mori, I just went wild, and some of them were expensive. So these ones are accessible. So I'm glad that I was able to finally pick these up for him. But this is everything. The video is already super long. Thank you so much if you stuck around to the end, went through all the merch with me, and then my books. Really excited to get some of these new books in and to read some of these new titles, but I think I'm even more excited to just put all of my merch away that has been sitting in piles for the past several weeks. But I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you again soon in another video. Thanks for watching.